Andie Hagemann and Dan Weber here for USCFootball.com Instant Analysis. Dan, last night was the team's banquet, wrapping up the season before the bowl game next week. Buck Allen was named MVP. What did Clay Helton say about Buck's performance this year?
Well, he said, he carried the team in the second half of the season, but he said the neatest thing about Buck was, they go through spring and he's the only tailback healthy, and he says to him, "Coach, I got it, no problem." He said, they get to the first game with the new staff, the Arizona game, and big pile at the goal line. Buck says, "I got it, no problem," and leaps into the end zone. And he just said, he was here when we needed him all season long, in winter and spring. But he also, he said, the difference, he said, we're so thrilled about Buck is his development as a player is not, the only part of it. It's his development as a student, as a leader, off the field, all the things that he's done. He said that's what USC does to you. It can allow you to be, to become the person that Buck Allen has become. I mean, he's so come out of his shell. He's so a leader, even vocally, which is something we never saw before. But really popular choice last night, and popular choice with all the players today, obviously.
An interim coach Clay Helton said that today they worked on first and second down game plan. Also, how are the Trojans holding up injury-wise? What are we expecting if Trey Madden can play, and also Silas Red?
They're not expecting Silas now. That was the news of today, is that his his knee came down on the other knee in the Cal game and kind of did more damage evidently than they had thought. And right now they're thinking he probably won't be back. He was here today, not in pads. He and Trey were both here, not in pads. Trey looks like with his high ankle sprain will be a game time decision. But look, it'll look pretty much like it's been looking with Buck and Ty Isaac, kind of how they're going to go, and then we'll see what they get from Trey.
Coach Sarkisian and some of the new coaching staff were in attendance today at practice, along with some other familiar faces. Willie McGinnis was here as well. Was it kind of odd having the new coaching staff here bearing down on the current staff? You know what?
This year has been so one of a kind and so unprecedented in terms of the four coaches in 2.5 months and what have you. Something that's never happened before. College football, never going to happen again. I think they're used to rolling with the punches, and plus, I mean, it looks very natural. I mean, it's not a sense of, how often do you see the new coaching staff on the outside of the lines and the old coaching staff out there still coaching, and it's going. You couldn't expect it to go any better. They just seem very comfortable with it. As Clay said, we're here to help. We're going to be here as long as they want us to be. Sark has been great to us. We all know the new guys, and they have really done well. This the holdover coaches, the coaching staff that took over with Ed Orgeron, you could not perform better than they've performed, and that was the theme of last night's banquet. Is we probably have all, we've been coaching for, this is a staff with a lot of years of coaching, and every one of them pretty much agrees that we've never done a better job than we did in the last, last 8 games. So they just seem to have no problem with it.
This was brought up in the presser after practice today. How do you think the team is going to cope with having fewer practices than they did last year for the Sun Bowl?
Couldn't be any worse, from that standpoint. The longer they practice, the worse they got. As Clay said, you'd like to have the more practices if you have a later bowl game for the younger guys, so the younger guys won't get it. They don't have as many younger guys, older guys, so from that standpoint, I'm not sure, 15 practices, or, you're allowed to have as many as you want. Actually, you just can't go over the 20 hours a week. But I'm not sure they got enough players to really take the maximum practices. But as Clay said, for the guys that are established, the ones that are going to play next Saturday, 7 or 8 that they're going to get, he said that's all they need. And he's right. That's all they do need.
Thanks, Dan. This wraps up today's Instant Analysis. For signing off for Dan Weber, I'm Andie Hagemann. Log on to USCFootball.com for more.